Yo, what's up, guys? Quick live stream. We got a lot of NBA games tonight. Let me share my screen real quick. We got Thursday night football. We got the college football. We got some bowl games, a good one. Arizona, Oklahoma. So let's find some bets. And I am in these live streams. I try to use the main books that are legal in a bunch of states. PrizePicks, PrizePicks is legal in a ton of states. Fliff is a sports book legal basically everywhere. That's a great thing about using Fliff. But anyways, without further ado, a lot of the basketball games start at 5. So let's just kind of get into it. So maybe we start out on Underdog Fantasy. And I always recommend, if you're new to sports betting, if you only use PrizePicks, sign up for Underdog, sign up for ParlayPlay, sign up for Better, all these different fantasy sites. Whoa, you can see ParlayPlay has a discount as well on Breece Hall. But all these books have pretty lucrative deposit bonuses. ParlayPlay, you put in 100, you get 100 for free. And the more books, you're using, the better. So, you never know which book is going to have value, screw up their lines on a given day. So ideally, you're using as many as possible, but maybe Underdog Fantasy, it looks like there's a couple plays that look decent. CJ Mosley over 7.5 tackles and assists, but the board's relatively dry. So maybe we start out on PrizePicks. So what's the first play OddsJam is recommending? So again, OddsJam doesn't do anything complicated. All it's doing is pointing out value in the market. So I think, is Jokic out tonight? No, he's playing tonight, but you can see the first play that OddsJam is recommending is Jamal Murray over 6 assists. So a lot on PrizePicks, but you got to remember every game is different. And really, what the main thing you want to be comparing to is real-time odds, like market odds. Where do sports books have their line set? Everything is baked into the market. The odds Jamal Murray, and I'm not sure why this keeps reloading my computer. But if you look at Jamal Murray, so let's start here. Underdog Fantasy, so another fantasy site, they have Jamal Murray's line at 6.5. So this is what's so, crazy about sports betting is how fragmented the market is. All these books have different lines. So you can kind of see here, there's hundreds of sports books posting odds, NBA player prop odds, right? You got PointsBet, you have all these different books. All these books have sophisticated models. And long story short, PrizePicks has their line too low relative to the rest of the market. So we want to take the over. We're using, market information to find good bets on PrizePicks. So the next play that OddsJam is recommending, it looks like there's Jamal Murray under 24.5 points. But regardless, the next play OddsJam is recommending is, anyways, let's just quickly lock these in before we talk too much, because PrizePicks, they bump things pretty quickly. So you can see under 4.5 rebounds here. So again, the way that PrizePicks works is you take a player's over or under, they have fixed payouts. You take his over, 3x payout. You take his under, 3x payout. You're always getting the same, payout. Regardless, any 2-pick entry, you're going to be getting a 3x payout. So why do we want to take the under? Well, just follow the data, right? It's really simple. All these books have his under, as a pretty big favorite, minus 155 on Fliff. All these books have slightly different models, but it's clear, the value's on the under. So anyways, it looks like lines are flying around. So let's try to lock in some plays quickly before the game start. So we have 2 plays on PrizePicks, but the optimal slip type on PrizePicks, the optimal slip type is 5-pick entries. So what we can do next is we can go over to college football passing yards. I don't give a shit what I'm betting on, including NBA and college football in the same slip. If there's value in college football, I have more bets on college football. If there's more value in, basketball, we'll have more bets on basketball. But here's an interesting one. So you can see in the bowl game tonight, this player's line, Noah Fafita's line, his line is 304.5 on PrizePicks. There's definitely some divergences in the market. A lot of books have him at 290, 295-ish. DraftKings 301.5. So these books have different fair values, or their over-unders are different. FanDuel's a little lower than DraftKings, 11 yards lower. Who knows why? But regardless, we're kind of like processing all this information. All these books have sophisticated models. They're taking bets, moving around lines based on where action's coming in. And it's pretty clear there's a little value on the under. And again, like this is literally just going to point out value in the market. It's nothing complicated. So then we have Valanciunas under 26.5 points plus rebounds. You can see right here, all the other books have him at 25.5. So we can take this. And again, just trying to move quickly before this line moves. So we want to get to 26.5 points plus rebounds. So that will make our fourth pick. None of these picks are in the same game. So there's no correlation to worry about, anything like that. We got to play on Zion over, but you know, if we're taking Valanciunas under, Zion over, like it doesn't really make sense. When you're including players in the same game in the same slip, you know, can get a little more complicated with the correlation, but whatever. So the final play we can go with Herbert Jones. So this is in the same game. It's kind of the same thing. So we can skip over that play. But the final play we have is over 10.5 points right here. So all the books have is over heavily favored. This seems like a good play to go with. And then hopefully I can get this in, you know, before it gets bumped. So you can always look at these last 5 grabs, whatever. You know, some people love to look at it. But again, every game's different. You know, following real-time market data is what's important. And you can see they just bumped 2 of the fucking plays I was going to lock in. But it's fine. I mean, it's kind of just, I mean, it's pain, but that's just kind of how it is you're trying to get down good bets before these books move their lines. Sometimes you will. Sometimes you won't be able to. So we have Gobert over 2.5 steals plus blocks. So before they remove the rest of these plays, let's just go quickly here. So we have 2.5 steals plus blocks. So we can go here, and this will be our fourth pick. So we have Dallas Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are huge favorites. I think Luka's out tonight. And then we have Laurie over 5.5 first quarter points. So we can go with this play, right? So, you know, just even knowing how to navigate these books quickly, like speed is important. It's very much so like being a day trader. You know, you want to try to move as quickly as possible. So we have the Pelicans game, and then this can be our 5-pick entry. And you'll see PrizePicks, they hit me with the betting limits pretty recently, so it's pretty beat. And I didn't mean to bet it for 5. I meant to bet it for my maximum allowed bet size of $25. But we can go ahead and we can lock that in. That'll be our first play. So, you know, we got college football, and then we got four NBA plays in 4 different games. So again, I kind of bounce around from book to book. You know, sometimes ParlayPlay has a ton of value, and ParlayPlay has a promo, so maybe we'll put something together real quickly for Thursday Night Football. So Breece Hall, you know, these discounts are the easiest money we're going to make as sports bettors. Definitely want to take advantage of these discounts when they're available. So I'm not even sure, do I have ParlayPlay filtered in right now? I don't think I have it filtered in. So what I want to do is, like, you know, depending on the books you use, there's so many sports books, but all these books are legal in different states. So it's, you know, it's kind of confusing. All these books are legal in different states, yada, yada. So here we have a Fliff play. And again, like the market's constantly moving, weathers, lineups, injuries, like all that type of stuff is moving around the market. Like if you go to Underdog NBA, all these lineup announcements, who's starting, who's not starting, all this stuff affects, you know, lines, right? If Luka's not playing, who's going to be scoring more? Their points line has to move higher, all that sort of stuff. So the market, you know, it's just like the price of a stock is constantly changing due to supply and demand, economic news. It's the same thing in sports betting. But anyways, let's go to ParlayPlay and let's just quickly try to get something done for this promo because the game starts soon. The game starts soon. But here's the PrizePicks play. Fun one. But anyways, let's go back here and let's lock in a quick ParlayPlay slip. So again, main reason you want to have multiple sports books is just all these books have different lines. So like ParlayPlay, it works very similar to PrizePicks. They actually have the exact same payouts as PrizePicks for 6-pick entries. But again, like sometimes PrizePicks is screwing up and there's more value on PrizePicks, whereas sometimes there's more value on ParlayPlay or whatever. So if we take a look right here, Andre Drummond, right, you can see ParlayPlay has his line. All these sports books have his line at 32.5. ParlayPlay has his line at 31.5. So it's kind of like keep it simple, stupid. Everything's baked into the market, lineups, injuries, all that crap is baked in to the lines books are putting out. They're not stupid. If all of the sharp customers on FanDuel are betting Drummond's over, they'll move the line from 32.5 to 33.5. Like, this is a market. And these books are constantly moving around lines based on where action's coming in, lineup changes, stuff like that. So really, we're just trying to find value in the market because, again, all these books set their own odds. They all set lines independently. So what do we want to go to next? So we have Valanciunas under 28.5 PRAs. So again, this is the play, or PrizePicks bumped a play on us on Valanciunas. I'm not sure if it was this or points plus rebounds, but regardless, whatever. So we already have this play on Breece Hall. So I don't know. It probably does make sense. Joe Flacco, I don't know, but I'll skip over this play in the Browns game. Again, when you're betting on stuff from the same game, you just got to think about the correlation a little bit. So I'm going to skip over that. But anyways, let's just keep moving. So then we have Laurie under 1.5 steals plus blocks. And, sometimes the value's in here we go. Steals plus blocks, S plus B. I mean, sometimes the value is in kind of random markets. So if that's where the value is, that's what we'll be betting. Here's another play in the Browns game, but whatever, we'll skip that over. Here's a play on Williams for the Jets-Browns game. Again, we already have a play on this game, maybe a little bit of negative correlation on this. So let's just skip it over and, let's just continue to find good plays that we can lock in. You have promo funds available. Once you have used all your promo entries, you can make bigger selections and enter larger amounts of money. So I guess they're not even going to let me include a second pick. They're just going to let me bet this promo for $15. So 10x payout. I mean, 4-pick entries aren't optimal on ParlayPlay, but if that's what we have to use for the promo, obviously getting a discount on Breece Hall, it's impactful. It may not seem like a big deal, what's a 20-yard, discount in rushing yards? Is it that big of a deal? But it really is a big deal. If you look at Breece Hall, alternate rushing yards, 40-plus yards is minus 174 on FanDuel. 50-plus yards is plus 114. So, 10 yards is a pretty big swing in the odds. He's not going to have 0 rushing yards. He's probably not going to have 200. So those yards around 40 to 50 are really impactful. So, these discounts, basically, you want to play them all. I mean, Breece Hall over 36.5, kind of probably a minus 250 favorite to go over that line. So then we can go back to Underdog, bounce around, see what's available on Fliff, any late action coming in. So this play I already locked in. You can see right here. I already locked in this play in a parlay, which I gave out on Twitter. So we're already on his over 7.5 rebounds. If you didn't lock it in, this looks like a really good play to go with. Minus 120. All the other books pricing it around minus 150. So the best advice I got when I started sports betting is just, treat it like trading a stock. We're able to buy this stock at 120 when the rest of the market has it priced at 150. It's like if you were a day trader and you wanted to buy a stock and you could buy it at, a 20% discount versus the rest of the market, it would be pretty easy to be a day trader. So we're kind of just out of the thousands of lines on PrizePicks, on Fliff, on all these different platforms, all these first quarter lines. I mean, there's so much random shit we can bet. We're trying to zone in on okay, what are the few rare, spots on all these books where they're screwing up and offering plays with an edge. So anyways, we'll refresh this and then we can go back to, so Underdog, it looks like now has a bit more stuff. So let's refresh this. So some of them ended up moving. And again, Underdog roughly works the same way as PrizePicks. Really, the only difference between PrizePicks and Underdog is their payouts. And they have different lines from one another. But on PrizePicks, your 3-pick entries, your 3-pick parlays, you're going to be getting a 5x payout. Whereas on Underdog Fantasy, you're getting a 6x payout. And it does really make a difference long term, obviously, getting a 5x payout versus a 6x payout. In terms of your ROI, your profitability long term, you probably don't want to be, you definitely don't want to be playing 3-pick entries on PrizePicks where you're only getting a 5x payout, given other sports books, are giving you a 6x payout. So anyways, regardless, 3-pick entries are largely what I place on Underdog. But if you go to the fantasy optimizer and scan all these lines on Underdog, there's literally tens of thousands of lines on Underdog. Can we just find 3 good plays where they're screwing up enough to make the bets worth, betting? And not really. There's just not a ton of value on Underdog right now. And obviously, some of the NBA games have started. We don't have a full slate of NFL. There's not that much college football, college basketball today. So there's just less games means, there may be less profitable betting opportunities. But Michael Porter over 7.5 does look pretty good. PrizePicks, we kind of cleared out. It looks like a lot of the value went away. We can go back here to Fliff. So let's go to Fliff and Better Picks. I mean, Better Picks is a new one. And there's actually a lot of value on Better right now. You can see there's a ton of value actually right now. Drummond's rebound line is 16.5, which is absolutely crazy. So we could build a slip on Better, but you can kind of see them right here. I mean, it's the same thing. This is a new DFS app. They have a lot more value right now than PrizePicks and Underdog. So it's a good book to have. This is just a new DFS app. And they have a $500 deposit match too, which is really solid. So definitely recommend taking advantage of that. Anyways, I got to plug. Let me plug in my computer quick. So what else do we got? So this play looks great. So if we go here, we were just debating betting him in our last PrizePick slip. We were going to bet him over 10.5, and they ripped the line up to 11. And now it's telling us to bet the over 11. So my assumption is probably some lineup news came out. If we just look at the Pacers game, maybe he's starting. I don't know. But long story short, it's like his line has been moving up in the market. Maybe it's just a bunch of people are hammering his over. That's what's great about looking at sportsbook odds is everything's reflected in the market. Well, Better is even better. So if you use Better, this is even better. They have the line at 10.5. The issue is they don't let me bet on shit from my computer. Otherwise, I would pull it up. But if we go here, okay. But if we go here, if I go here and I try to bet it, I don't know. It just doesn't really, it says my computer's broken. So it's not letting me bet it on my computer. But regardless, there's some good value, right now on Better. And it feels a little shitty on PrizePicks to get over 11 when on Better Picks you could get over 10.5. All the books have his line at 11.5 or 12. Boom Fantasy has his line at 12. That's a big difference. 10.5 versus 12. That's how you get an edge. It's not sexy, but that's how you get an edge. You beat the books long term. So we can play the over 11. Again, it just feels a little shitty because you could get over 10.5 on Better, which is obviously better, but whatever. Whoa. Boom. So we got some more college football plays showing up. So what we can do is we want to take him over 11. So this play looks solid. I already included this play on Jamal Murray. I mean, you can include the same pick in different slips. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. If a play is profitable, it's profitable. So you look at Nick Anderson. PrizePicks has the line at 57.5. All these other books, 45.5 on MGM. You may not use MGM. It may not be a sports book legal in your location, but this is a $10 billion company with a really fucking good model that's taking millions of dollars of bets, moving around lines based on where action's coming in. You want to put some weight into their odds. That's information for you to make informed betting decisions off of. So all these other books have his line significantly lower. So it's okay, let's go here and let's try to get it down ideally before the line moves. So again, last 5 grabs, pretty irrelevant. Not that, whatever, you can't look at them, or I'm not saying this is the only way to make money, but the first step to making money is finding value in the market. So then we have Herbert Jones under 2.5 assists. So I'm just going to try to fly through some of these. This game starts in, a lot of these games start pretty soon too. And then we got football starting as well. Miles Turner over 8.5 rebounds plus assists. So maybe we will include a couple of the same picks in the same slip, just because, Yeah, we're going to have to. Just because, again, you don't want to like 5x payouts. Like you never want to be playing 3-pick entries on PrizePicks. They're a fucking ripoff, right? They're giving you such a crappy payout. So you don't want to do that. Anyways, let's refresh this one more time. So we have over, under. You know, I kind of just like to double check, make sure I'm like doing things roughly correctly. You know, don't want to fat finger anything. So we can go back here. We can refresh this and we can just kind of see. So again, all the books have his under heavily favored. That seems like a good play to go with. And then Jamal Murray, I mean, whatever. This play looks solid. So let's hit it. Jamal Murray over 6 assists, right? He only had 3 in the last game, but again, every game's different. Playing the Grizzlies tonight. So let's go here. And then again, like I would bet this for more, but I'm not going to be able to. I'm only going to be able to hit it for $25. So that's just kind of how it is. Some books have better betting limits than others. I used to have $500 limits early in the season, and then, you know, they hit me with some pretty beat betting limits, but it's kind of how it is. So where do we want to go next? So ParlayPlay had a lot of value. So did Better Picks. Underdog Fantasy doesn't really have jack shit right now, but, you know, we got the football game starting in like 10 minutes. So let's try to go to Fliff, and maybe let's take a look here. So Fliff, you know, not really a ton of crap either. I mean, we can go to Better Picks and we can make a slip. Honestly, we might as well make a slip. So here we are. And I honestly, I want to place a bet on Better, especially because, I mean, it's whatever. I already bet him over 11, which I still think is good. I still think like FanDuel just moved his line up to 12.5. Like his line has moved up from 9.5 to 12.5 in like the past Pinnacle. They have his line at 11.5 with the over heavily favored, right? They have the line at 11.5 with the over as a minus 151 favorite. And on PrizePicks, we're getting over 11. So that's a no fucking brainer. But what I do want to do is we can go to Better. And on Better, the optimal slip type is 5-pick entries, no insurance. And you can see also there's some good good college, or not college football. There's some good NFL bets already popping up. And some people will ask like, yo, like, oh, you know, this game's on Sunday. Should I already bet it? And the thing is this line won't last long. I can promise you, if you try to find McPherson, you know, under 1.5 field goals, that's not going to be around probably by tomorrow. I mean, this is a really good line. It's not going to be available. But anyways, we got to move quickly. So I'm you know, basically just going to lock in the top 5. So we want to take him over 10.5 points. So that's our second pick, right? Then we have Drummond over 15.5 rebounds, which is fucking crazy. Really crazy. We have Rozier under 35.5 PRAs. So we can go here, and then we can go to Rozier. And I've really got to figure out how to get this working on my phone, but, you know, whatever. I don't have it working currently, so we'll have to figure that out. So the Lakers game is later, but we want under 35.5 PRAs. So that's my third pick. We have Metcalf under 4.5 receptions. So I'm a fan of that. I like getting some football plays in there. And so we want to go to the Seattle-Pittsburgh game. And then we want to take Metcalf under 4.5 receptions. So I've taken these two and these two. And then which one of these do I want to take? Do I want to take Drummond or Sexton? Maybe we take Sexton just because those players are in the same game. I mean, I don't even really want to think about the correlation right now. So maybe we just take Sexton over 3.5 assists. Colin Sexton over 3.5 assists. So I literally just took these 5 and I just didn't take Drummond. But the game starts in 2 minutes. So I'm trying to lock this in quickly, and there's no search button on Better, which is a little annoying, but just kind of how it is. So that's fine. So we can take him over 3.5 assists. And what's cool about FanDuel is if you go here, you can actually see this book has so if you go to the Pelicans game, right, the same way like we discussed for Breece Hall, like what you can do is they have alternate lines, alternate assist lines. So you can see as over 3.5 is a big favorite. The under 4.5 is favored. So like 1 assist is a big deal. So anyways, long story short, I locked in that entry. Fuck, they removed Sexton. So never mind, I didn't. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take Drummond. But we have to move quickly on that one as well. Anyways, I'm never placing a bet on better on this live stream again. So stupid. But anyways, we want over 15.5 rebounds. And there we go. So there we go. I got a $50 better entry. So, okay. So we locked in one play, and then we can kind of bounce back. Kind of the same shit on PrizePicks. There's a lot of value on better right now. ParlayPlay. Again, depending on where you're located, maybe you use FanDuel, Caesars, DraftKings. Fliff is just legal in more states, so, you know, I try to focus on it. But all these books have, you know, all these books have pretty good, you know, stuff available usually. Like FanDuel, usually it's a pretty exploitable book. They usually have some pretty good lines available. I mean, they have some early lines for Sunday as well. Debo over 4.5 receptions at -102. FanDuel's the only book with Debo's under favored. Every other book has Debo's over heavily favored around like -135, -140. It's like, what the fuck is FanDuel doing? They have his under favored. Every other book has the over heavily favored. It's like FanDuel's like flipping their odds or something like that. Like, we're using information to our advantage. And I really view my sports betting just kind of like an investor. Place a ton of bets with an edge. You know, obviously not every bet's going to win, but if you're placing bets that actually have an edge, you'll win over the course of the long run. So then we can go back to PrizePicks. We have this play on Nick Anderson, which looked incredible. We got another line on him. I mean, whatever. So we hit some good plays. I mean, you know, I know people fucking hate ParlayPlay, but that's where a lot of the value is usually. So like you can see, I mean, there's just some good lines available. Jamal Murray under 24.5 points. So you'll notice if we go here to Murray, right? Like I think PrizePicks had his line at 24.5 and then they ripped it down. But again, it's like, it's a pretty simple strategy. You know, ParlayPlay, just like PrizePicks, they're giving us the same payout if we take this guy's over or his under. So like, I don't even know where this $10 of bonus funds is from. But anyways, Jamal Murray, we want under 24.5 points plus points, right? We want Williams over 7.5 tackles plus assists. So again, it's pretty simple. Like ParlayPlay, it's just like PrizePicks. You take the over, you take the under, you're getting the same payout regardless. So why do we want to take Murray's under? Well, you know, we're just following market data points. Here you can see a little line movement graph, but all the books have his under heavily favored for Murray, and then they have his over heavily favored. But anyways, let's just quickly lock this in. So we want under 2.5 shots on goal. And again, you know, like on ParlayPlay, it's a 5x payout, which is not what you want. So what we want to do is just be like, okay, we don't want to play a 5-pick entry. I'm not sure why it's telling me this is a promo play. But what we can do is we can go here. So promo entry. So we'll see if they do the same thing again and are like, oh, you can't bet it. But what we can do is we can go to Gus Edwards under no touchdown, rushing plus receiving. So they're not even going to let me bet it again because I have this promo. So whatever. I'm going to include my second promo entry on this. You know, slow and steady, take advantage. I mean, it's literally free money. Like, I don't even know what this promo is from, to be honest, but we'll take it. Sheesh. Under 4.5 threes for Desmond Bane. That is a high fucking line. So that play looks incredible. Right? And like, why should you have PrizePicks and Underdog? Is like, this line's not available on PrizePicks. If you're just using PrizePicks and, you know, you try to look at Desmond Bane's line, like, they don't even have a 3-point line up for him. This line's only on Underdog. That's the book with value, which is why, you know, you want to use as many books as possible. But anyways, let's go back here. Anything on FanDuel, DraftKings. I mean, there's a ton of shit, but whatever. The game's about to start. We got some good plays down. hopefully this was helpful. And, well, maybe we can find something on Underdog really quickly. We'll see. Sometimes you get lucky. I mean, like the best time, like typically right before games start. Obviously, some games just started, but when lines are ripping around, that is the best time to find bets. Like lineup news is coming out. Players are getting injured. They're sitting. And that's causing the market to go into disarray. And again, all these sports books set their own odds. They all set their own lines. So every time there's new news in the market, you can see PrizePicks just bumped up Murray. But every time a player is injured, weather changes, sharp action comes in, all books have to update their odds, their lines, because again, every book is setting their own odds and lines. So like, you can see here in the Jets game, it's like, I'm sure with Amari Cooper out, like that probably moved the odds a little, maybe not that much. He's a receiver, but you can see here, like, well, I don't know. Christmas Eve, the Jets were plus 205. Now they're plus 265. It's like, I don't know. But clearly something happened. But anyways, enjoy the game. Thanks so much for your time, and let's make some money.